Cousin from Montana who said it was snowing 2 days ago when he got up.
Hey, everybody. I didn't bring that with me. So
Yeah, Gary Lorenz.
You're welcome.
And then we have another guest, Calvin Thacker, Circle K IUPUI, one of the top 100 students. You want to just tell us what your major is and what you're planning on doing?
Sure. So I graduated in December with my bachelor's, and now I'm doing a master's in human-computer interaction. And yeah, I'm proud to serve as the president of our Circle K Club. And thank you for having me.
Greg, do you have a thought for the day?
Thought for today. So Kelly reminded me that it's the 100th anniversary this year of the Paris Olympics. The last time was in Paris. And that one of the contests at that time was poetry. So I thought that, although I've done a poetry one on this subject that's coming, I wanted to mention it's also the 200th anniversary, 200th anniversary of a famous French soldier who saved America, Lafayette. And I'm sure you all know his first name was Gilbert de Marquis Lafayette, and we honor his name in our own state and other places. But he came to America to fight for liberty and justice. He found Washington. Washington kind of adopted him as a godson or whatever, and he was able to save America. He brought the French to our aid against the British and many major battles that you've heard about, from Yorktown to others. And we kind of forget that that man. 200 years ago this month, he came to America in a grand celebration of his life, 47 years after the Revolution. And he also was responsible with Benjamin Franklin to finance and bring soldiers to fight for the American independence and revolution against the British. And he fought on the Canadian border, and he fought for us throughout. So he's the first person to remember. And one of his great supporters was Anthony Wayne. Does that ring a bell? Anthony Wayne, Fort Wayne, We're all connected, and we're connected to Lafayette and Anthony Wayne. And so just a thought about 200 years ago, today, in 1824, the Marquis of Lafayette was honored by the United States.
Thank you, Greg. We can always count on you for new wisdom, new guidance, new history that we didn't know or totally forgot. Roger, come on up and give us some news.
That's all I got. Hi, everyone. Roger, accompanied by the jazz saxophone downstairs. Quite pleasing, right? You didn't have to listen to me talk. Okay, we got a couple things. I'm trying to get an inner club together to Scottsburg, of all places. But this is Trent Cowles from there. We talked to Al Riggles at the basketball program we had and tried to find a way to come down. He says, the best time to come down is May the 4th. Be with you. We have our annual pancake breakfast, which is our big event of the year. So Trent and I are planning on going down there. I'm looking for a couple other people. If anybody's interested, we're going to leave about 7 o'clock on the south side. It's about an hour and a half drive. The pancake breakfast is from 7 to 10.
Do you need a visa to get to the south side of
I
Indianapolis?
do, yeah. Well, that's where I'm from, actually. And then if we don't have any takers on that one, we've got another interclub plan for May the 16th, which is a Thursday, which is a regular meeting date that we're not meeting. We're going to the Lafayette Club, where Taka is from, our past governor. So if anybody'd like to do that, let me know. That'd be from the north side. That's a little quicker trip, of course. And then also next Iozo's brunch is May the 20th on Monday. Come on down and join us. Just let me know, and we'll have plenty of room for you and plenty of food. I also want to mention one other thing. The adaptive, we're calling it adaptive equipment now. We've got a request for a tricycle, and we've approved it at the board, through the board. That was submitted last week by Kelly. A check was sent out. We got notice yesterday the PO has been received. So we're expecting that to be delivered to that family within 2 weeks. It's a 48-day turnaround, 5 to 7 days shipping. And since Tom Dunham happens to be here and Bill Du Bois, both of these gentlemen have stepped forward and said we'd love to help support the adaptive bike program, which is wonderful. So we haven't done this for 3 or 4 years. Tom was the last guy. COVID kind of stopped that. We've also got another request for another bicycle that just came in from a past recipient who says he's outgrowing the bike, or the parent says he's outgrowing the bike. Can we help him on another one? What can we do with the one he's got? So I'm gonna get with Tom and Bill and we'll talk about that. So yeah, thank you to all of us. Mary, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good job as always. Okay, so you may have seen these out at the table. Before you leave, if you could sign these, just to have a great day, whatever. We're giving these when we send out the scholarship checks. So just something from all of the members. So if you could do that, that'd be great. So on the 9th, we're having our social supper, and since it's the month of May, we're going to be in Speedway at Dawson's at 5:30. The menu looks pretty good when I was online for that, so if you can join me, please let me know, text me or email me and let me know by Tuesday of next week so I can make sure we have the right amount for the reservation. No meeting on the 23rd because Memorial Day weekend. On the 30th, we're going to have a Zoom with Elizabeth Carr, who was the first in vitro fertilization baby in America. We'll also have on June 6th a Zoom meeting with filmmaker Mitch Teplitsky and his documentary on Spencer Pride. We're not going to have a meeting on June 13th because it's Strawberry Fest on the Circle, so if you're downtown, please do that. It's a lot of fun. And the following week, we're going to hear from Taylor Schaefer with Downtown Indy, and that will be here at the Columbia Club. On August the 22nd, put it in your calendar, we're going to hear from Dr. Alex Kaur and Graham Honecker about their new book, A Blessing, Not a Burden. And visit the Indy website, indykiwanis.org, for the list of programs. They're transitioning. We're doing a lot of transition with all of our computer stuff. So if you get on the website, indykiwanis.org, and you can look for all the upcoming programs. Jay has a great idea for a new social event. You want to come up here and share
I'll just try.
It's still an initiation, but let us
You want
know.
to watch me walk up there. I'll just talk from here. I think you might remember the days when we used to have a tennis league. We used to have a bowling league. Well, I'm going to propose to send out something which will be a bicycle trip. Maybe 1 or maybe 4 times a month, depending on people that are interested. And there'll be 2 groups. One will be called the Kiwanis Easy Riders, and the other will be called the...
Are those for us who fall off our bicycles?
Bicycle.
Okay.
We have adaptive as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Adaptive
can,
bikes, yeah.
you can do that.
Tricycle.
Oh, well, you can use an e-bike if you want to. So,
That's all right.
and the other is the racer do's and dudettes. So we plan to have scheduled bike rides, probably on the Monon Trail, the Rail Trail, Midland Trail, maybe even to a state park. So stay tuned for that. And then finally, I'd like to get a group together to play pickleball. So if you'd like to play pickleball, I'll send out something in the newsletter, and you can let us know, and we'll see how many people would be interested in doing that throughout the summer. Thank you.
Well, it's the perfect season to go bicycling, so this is a
Oh,
great
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Great idea. Thank you for your ingenuity. We appreciate that. So now, the big event. Trina, would you like to introduce our guest?
props.
Oh, I see. To the swimmer.
I am so darn excited about the swim meet that's coming up. I don't know if you can tell. I've been part of the local organizing committee, co-chairing the event operations for the last 2 years, and the amount of work that Indiana Sports Corps has put into this, key volunteers around town have put into this, absolutely amazing. So, Dan Gliot, did I get it right?
Yeah.
I got it right. Is the Senior Director of Marketing and Communications for the Indiana Sports Corps. He's responsible for developing and overseeing and executing all communication strategies. He joined Sports Corps in September after 5 years at the Horizon League. So continuing to elevate some of our key athletic assets in the city. Most recently, as the assistant, he served there as the assistant commissioner for messaging and branding. He is the words guy, apparently not me. But I'm super excited for him to share a look at everything that's going to happen over 9 days of competition, 11 days of activations, 10 days of concerts. Hope you guys will all take part in at least part of it. You don't have to get wet. That's the best part. But without further ado, Dan, come on up.
First and foremost, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for the introduction. Did want to know our fact for the day. 100 years ago, the Paris Olympics. Also 100 years ago, Indianapolis hosted these same swimming trials at Broad Ripple Park. And so those athletes that competed at Broad Ripple Park went to Paris. So 100 years later, we are doing the exact same thing. So it is very, very cool and very exciting. June 15th to the 23rd is the Olympic swimming trials. So why is this such a big deal? Why this really is on the same level as a Super Bowl and as an NBA All-Star game. And it's really because this is the sole selection meet for athletes to try to make it to Team USA for swimming. When I say sole selection meet, I mean this is their only opportunity. For other sports, for USA Gymnastics, if you have a bad meet right before, they might still take you onto the team. This is your only chance for a swimmer to make Team USA. There's 52 spots. 26 men, 26 women will make it. It's referred to as the fastest swim meet in the world because there are people that would be left off of this meet that could win a medal in Paris later on in the summer. So it's really competitive meet, really exciting. We're expecting about 1,000 athletes to come here, and it's really, really cool. Last time it was held in Indianapolis was in 2000 at the IU Natatorium, amazing facility. There was some kid who made his first Olympic trials that year. His name was Michael Phelps. I don't know if anyone recognizes that name. He was 15 years old when he swam and made his first Olympic team, and that was at the Nat. So the Nat holds about 3,000 people. USA Swimming outgrew the Nat, which is why it's moved to Omaha the last few cycles. This meet is only held every 4 years. This is not a yearly event. This is every 4 years because it does correspond with the Olympics. So the last couple of times it's gone to Omaha. The seating capacity there was about 9,000. They outgrew that. So Indianapolis, we do things bigger and we do things huge here, and no one puts on large scale sporting events like Indianapolis does. So now we moved it to Lucas Oil Stadium. First time it'll ever be held inside an NFL stadium. Seating capacity for that will be about 30,000 people. So it's really taking the sport of swimming to the next level. Here's a rendering of what those pools are going to look like. When we talk about 2.5 swimming pools inside an NFL stadium, it's really mind-blowing. It's the first time this will ever be done. You'll see that there's two sides here. One is just the competition pool. So if you did come to the Final Four in 2021 during COVID, you will see this here. There's a line divider here. So this will be the competition pool on the one side that will seat 30,000 people. And then we also are building 1.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools on the other side because you do need practice and warm-up areas. So 2.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools inside an NFL stadium. Never done before. I honestly don't think it actually could be done anywhere else in Indianapolis. It is really, really cool. We do talk a little bit about each session and prelims and finals, so I do want to talk a little bit about that. So each day there will actually be 2 sessions, except for the last day, but every other day we'll have 2 sessions. One is called prelims, and the evening session is called finals. So those 1,000 athletes, they will all compete in what is referred to as prelims. So once you compete in those prelims, if you make it out of prelims, that's when you'll compete in the finals. So when we talk about that, I just want to clarify that because there are 2 sessions a day. So once again, here's a rendering of the pool. Very, very cool. It's going to sit right on the turf, and actually has to be built up off the turf. So we talk about, we'll actually take out about the first 10 to 12 rows of Lucas Oil Stadium. So people come up and say, be like, oh man, I don't know about those seats in the 600s. There's not going to be a bad seat because everything's going to be raised up a lot more than if you were to go to a Colts game or things like that. So it's going to be very, very cool. There's a ton of information on here. I promise I'm going to hit on a lot of this stuff. But some of the things I did want to note, as I said before, we're looking at about 1,000 athletes that come here competing for just 52 spots. Each night, the finals will be on NBC prime time. So it's really just awesome opportunity for us to talk about Indianapolis, talk about all the amazing things. I really can't think of another event that has 9 straight nights of primetime television like the swimming trials does. Talked a little bit about the prelims. We're expecting over 250,000 fans to come in over those 9 days. And really, as Trina mentioned, 10 days really as well, because we're going to have a starting block party, which is really the opening ceremonies to the trials. That would be the day before on the 14th. So really excited about that as well. Talk about some of the activations later. We're going to look to fill over 6,000 volunteer shifts over that time. So really huge volunteer lift, but no one can do this like Indianapolis does. Yeah, just really, really cool stuff there. Here's the map of everything that we're kind of talking about here when we talk about the campus map. So you'll see Lucas Oil Stadium is on the bottom, moving up to the convention center where the Toyota AquaZone will be. The star in the middle there, which I'll talk about more, and I'll just give you a preview, is going to be a 66-foot replica Eiffel Tower being built by the Latinas Welding Guild, which is really awesome and really, really cool, and I'll talk more about that later. But as you see, really big footprint here in downtown Indianapolis, very exciting. We're going to be activating in a lot of different ways. Those green cubes, I actually love this as well. Those green cubes are going to be wayfinding cubes. We're going to have volunteers making sure that everyone that's coming downtown will know where they're going. So we'll literally have volunteers posted everywhere downtown in this footprint to tell everyone where they're going. As I mentioned, this is a rendering of the convention center with Toyota AquaZone. If you've ever been to a Big Ten Fan Fest, this is really what this is going to be. So 9 straight days of fun activations, retail. So if you want to get your trials gear, this is the best place for you to go to. And you'll hear this as a common theme. One of the things we talked about as well as trying to make this free and accessible. So the Toyota AquaZone is a free event. The theme in Indianapolis is making things more accessible, and we saw that with the NBA All-Star Game, trying to do that, and this is really continuing with that messaging as well. It's just making everything free. So very cool, tons of activations, sponsorship, food and beverage, retail. There'll be athlete signings, so you can meet the athletes. People will be hosting podcasts in there. So really a lot of really cool activations, but very fan fest for all ages. Very, very cool, very exciting. The next thing we have is right outside of the convention center is what we're talking about is USA Swimming Live, and this is presented by Purdue University. It will just be on Georgia Street. If you've seen those Big Ten activations, very similar to that. This is going to be 9 days of free concerts for everyone involved from 1 to 7 p.m. So awesome. I said this before, but 9 days is probably the longest event that Indianapolis has hosted since the Super Bowl. As you see, a Big Ten championship will come in, and that's usually about a weekend. NBA All-Star Game, phenomenal. That was about 4 days. Super Bowl was a week-long event. This is going to be a 10-day event, and in the summertime as well, which is not something that we normally do here. It's the month of May, so obviously we have Indy 500, but after that, don't really have a ton of really major events here. So we're really excited to activate in the summer here in Indianapolis. As I mentioned before, we're going to have the Eiffel Tower presented by AES Indiana, lots of sponsorship activations. We're going to have a swim-up bar Mentioned this to a couple people. You do not need your suit. There will be no water on Georgia Street.
Please stay dressed.
Please stay dressed.
Keep your clothes on.
That's a super exciting activation. Gonna have tons of photo opportunities we'll see there. We're gonna have walk and talks. Just really exciting. Like I said, it is all free. You can come down at any time between 1 and 7 and listen to live music, have some great food, have a great drink. So tons of ways to activate. This is our concert series lineup presented by One America Financial. Don't feel bad. I don't know any of these people. That was the moment I knew I was old. Was that I didn't know any of these people up here. But no, really exciting bands, really exciting acts, like I said. Just activating in so many different ways from 1 to 7 on Georgia Street, really cool. This replica Eiffel Tower is something that we've talked about a lot, and it's just such a cool statement piece. I mean, to connect the Paris Olympics here to Indy, have it created by the Latinas Welding Guild is a really cool story as well. We had a press event last week, and Consuelo, who runs the Latinas Welding Guild, talked about the amount of females that they're getting into the Latinas Welding Guild to do those sorts of trades is really, really cool, and just what an opportunity to have. What a statement piece. I just don't know any other city. I've said this before, but what other city is going to make a 66-foot Eiffel Tower and put it in the middle of their downtown? I just can't think of another one, but that's just what Indianapolis does. Right in the middle of Georgia Street, right in front of the convention center. If you do know of anyone that would can't maybe afford to go to Paris to propose to someone, we are absolutely willing to set that up at the Eiffel Tower June 15th to the 23rd. Please give them my contact information. We will figure that out.
Flowers and champagne.
We will supply that, yes. We will supply anything if we can have a proposal happen at the Eiffel Tower. Here's some of the really cool photo opportunities that we have as well. The Eiffel Tower, our president Patrick Tolte talks about the Eiffel Tower would probably be the most Instagrammable moment that we have for everyone, but here are some other really cool photo opportunities as well. Some other ways that we are activating as well. We're working with the Indy Arts Council on some special All Lanes Lead to Indy art. So we've commissioned some local artists, and here are some of those renderings as well. Some of these are going to live on Georgia Street, some of these are going to live downtown as well. But Indianapolis, when we host these large events, it's not just about the large events, it's pulling in culture, it's pulling in music, it's pulling in all these different facets of the community together, because it's not just about the sports, it's about the community. That's why we do these things. So very, very cool as well. And then also we're activating our Monument Circle. Spark is back on the circle. I know Taylor Schaefer, you said, is coming back, so I'm sure she will talk about everything that's going on there. So we're going to be activating all from Monument Circle down to Lucas Oil Stadium for 9 straight days, and even 10 straight days with the starting block party. So very exciting. We get asked all the time, how can people get involved? Talked about earlier about 6,000 volunteer shifts. That's a lot of volunteers to do that. So we're really trying to activate as many people as possible. Inside the stadium, don't have a ton of opportunities, but a ton of opportunities to talk with those 250,000 visitors. One thing that I didn't note earlier that I did want to mention, and one of the coolest parts about this event coming to Indianapolis, is that swim clubs from around the country want to attend the pinnacle of the sport, which is more than likely going to be the swim trials every 4 years. But those swim clubs don't ever want to stop their training. And if you're a swimmer, you train. I played baseball in college. Like, I can't imagine the amount of swimming that you do. You have morning sessions, you have afternoon sessions. It's an incredible amount of work. So those clubs find it difficult to take the time, those 3 to 4 days, to pick up and just visit visit Omaha and take their time away from their training. So the interesting thing here in Indianapolis is that we have an abundance of pools here in the city. So we're actually working with those swim clubs and connecting them with pools around the city and around the area so that they can continue to do their training, but also attend the trials at the same time. So it's a wealth of things there. They're going to be staying at campuses like Butler and Franklin College. So really, really cool how the city is coming together. But just a cool note as well is that we're creating more and more opportunities to continue to grow the sport. And with all that, the volunteer opportunities, there's tons of different ways to get involved. Beautification events to occur during trials with the partnership with Downtown Indy. Lots of activations, like I talked about with USA Swimming Live in the convention center, at the airport. I'm not going to give that away, but we're going to do some exciting things. If you saw what the airport did around NBA All-Star, we're working on some awesome things as well around the trials. One incentive piece that we're trying to give to people are these really cool gold medals here. So we're doing those in a couple of different ways, and from a volunteer standpoint, if you compete for 3 or more shifts, thank you, you will receive a gold medal, which is really cool. We're kind of akin these to the Super Bowl scarves and things like that, but we really want people out and about wearing those gold medals and show their support. Another way that we're activating is that we're activating businesses, what we're referring to as the Indy Goals for Gold program. So businesses can sign up for this and engage with the 250,000 visitors that will be coming into Indianapolis over those 9 days. So restaurants, hotels, businesses, they can create what we're referring to as a gold medal offer, and we will actually be marketing that and promoting that to all of those fans. So if you want to give 15% off or 10% off or 24%, whatever you want to do there, we can promote that so those fans, those swimming fans know where to go. They know what activations there are and things to do around town. There's that break in between prelims as we talked about. So where do you want to go eat? Hey, I know that this restaurant is having an awesome promotion today and things like that. So if you do have businesses or organizations that are interested, you can do the QR code as well. We have digital graphics, we have signage kits to put up in those restaurants, employee engagement opportunities as well. So just trying to find as many different ways for businesses and organizations to get involved. It's a lot of people over a lot of days, and it's a lot of great ways to engage with all of them. As Indianapolis does all the time, it's not just about the sporting events and the athletes in the pool, it's about the impact and the lasting impact that we can make on events. So we're working on some legacy programming. This is the first time that USA Swimming around the swim trials has done what's referred to as a legacy program. It's really trying to make that impact in the community for long term. So one of our biggest ones is what we're referred to as a swim in safety program, IN being Indiana, with the goal of teaching 50,000 people ages 5 and up to be swim or water safe by the end of 2024. We've heard a lot about how important it is to be water safe. We refer to as swimming is one of the few sports that can truly save your life. Like I said, I'm a baseball player. I can't swing a bat to really save my life too often, but swimming absolutely can save your life. So it is so important to teach as many people in underserved communities how to be water safe. We are currently just about halfway to our goal at 25,000 people that have taken lessons or become water safe since we started this program in early 2023. And it's really exciting because, like I said, it is so important. These are going to be lasting. Learning how to swim, you have that skill for the rest of your life, and you're able to take that on for the rest of your life, and that's so important. We're connecting organizations and people with pools and curriculum and instructors. If an organization is like, we don't have a pool, we'll connect you with a pool. If a pool doesn't have a specific curriculum, we'll give them that curriculum as well. So just trying to connect people as much as possible. As you see there on the screen, drowning is the #2 cause of accidental death for kids 14 and under. I mean, that's a really chilling stat for something that we're able to really prevent. And so the more that we can get more people water safe, the more that we can do some things is really important. I do want to note, May 15th is International Water Safety Day. So we are partnering with USA Swimming for some really awesome activations around the city. And also on May 14th as well, sneak peek, Rowdy Gaines, if you know that name. He is the voice of USA Swimming, a tremendous partner in a lot of different ways. I will note, we had our State of Sports meeting presentation in October when I just first started, and he said Indianapolis is our Wrigley Field. Indianapolis is the home of really USA Swimming, which I think really says a lot of how much Rowdy loves this city. So he'll be actually throwing out the first pitch at the Indianapolis Indians games that day and talking about water safety. So very, very cool things there. I have said a lot because we are so excited about all the things that we are doing around this event. There's so many different ways to get involved. There are so many different ways that you can help out. So I'd love to just open it up for any questions, anything else I can elaborate on or talk about.
I have one question. What are you going to do with the Eiffel Tower after the trials? Because Carmel has a spot that they need to put something in the roundabouts.
That's a great question.
I can connect you with the mayor too.
We're still working on a final location for that, for the Eiffel Tower. There's been a lot of discussions on where it can go, not just here in Indianapolis, but nationally as well, because it is going to be so iconic, and with the Paris Olympics. So TBD on that one specifically, but we're still working on that one a little bit.
It's
And my
also
comment
20,000
is,
pounds.
Yeah, it's 20,000 pounds, so it's not in the to disassemble and assemble. It's going to be a little bit
yeah,
fun.
no one's going to take it. So my comment is my two grandsons are flying out from Colorado with their swim team.
Awesome.
So they're really stoked about this too.
That's really cool.
They're age 13 and they have aspirations of being Olympians. So we'll see what happens.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and that's what I said. The opportunities that we're able to do here in Indianapolis compared to Omaha are just for that reason. They're able to come out, continue their training, and still see the best swimming in the world. So.
If Purdue's involved with all this, and Lafayette is up there, maybe Lafayette would be a perfect place for that.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because you'd be so proud.
No, absolutely. Appreciate that.
We don't want to give it up.
I know.
So there are some there's local swim clubs like Hillcrest Country Club, Marion Hills, whatever. Do you have any program to like invite or tickets to attend the event? Some of those kids on those programs.
Yeah, so we're engaging with all the different swim clubs in a lot of different ways, including ticket opportunities, group ticket opportunities, giving away tickets and things like that. So yeah, we're trying to work with as many different organizations. Indiana has such a rich history of swimming. Indiana currently has the 4th most athletes that have qualified for the trials. Not something that many people would probably think about when they think of Indiana. It's you would probably think of basketball, and nothing wrong with that at all. But
I'm going to be selfish. My aunt Sarah Carroll and my mother Mary Carroll were both on the swim teams for the Indianapolis Athletic Club, and they actually pre some of the Olympic trials, and they actually then went up to Chicago and competed up there in what they call the water ballet. So you're absolutely right. And my mom has a whole bunch of medals from all that days. But Indianapolis and Indiana is a great swimming capital.
yeah, and that's why we're so excited to have it back here, because we really do feel like there's no better place to host these
If you haven't
trials.
seen the trophy, I think we may have it, I think the Cardinals may have it, but Indianapolis Athletic Club had a trophy cases of all the swimmers and all the pictures at one point before the club was turned into a private club. But you might want to incorporate that in some of your promotional materials.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Yep.
Kind of talking around my question, so answer to Pat's question, yes, you can get tickets through your local swim club. So
Yeah.
my daughter's a swim coach up in Fishers, and so she got us tickets for June 20th because one of the Fishers swimmers is going to swim that day. And you said Indiana has the 4th most qualifiers. Do you know the total number of Indiana? Because you've got Fishers and Carmel and IU has a huge program.
Yeah.
You've got other universities. How many total is it?
I don't know the number off the top of my head, because qualifying is actually still going on right now, so we won't have that final number until actually about a week before trials will actually begin. So I don't, like I said, I don't have the number right off the top of my head, but currently it's 4th, and I think it's gonna stay there pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember years ago at another large event, they talked about volunteerism,
Yep.
and they said they needed 5,000 people, 10,000 people signed up.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that here still?
we have seen, so I will say this, I like to tell this story. I'm not originally from Indianapolis. And so when I moved here and to work at the Horizon League, I've heard about how good of a hosting city Indianapolis is. I don't think you know until you experience it, because the volunteerism, the Hoosier hospitality, that is a real thing, and that I've seen and experienced myself. I think it's talked about a lot, and I think it's assumed a lot. It is not the norm anywhere else outside of Indiana. So volunteers, we are working so hard to continue to build more shifts out, because we have seen just the amount of volunteers that want to work these events, want to put Indianapolis's best foot forward all the time. So we're continuing to try to find more opportunities for volunteers, because as you said, more and more people just want to volunteer, want to be a part of these large-scale events, and want to really welcome people from across the country here to Indianapolis. You know, obviously the goal is for them also to come back. I want all these visitors to come experience the trials, have an amazing experience, and be like, we need to go back to Indianapolis because we missed 4 or 5 things we could have done while they were here. And as you said, as volunteers. So we're continuing to build out shifts and continue to grow that as much as possible, because we have seen a really large amount of volunteer support.
You talked about the swimming trials. Unless I missed it, I heard nothing about diving.
Correct. Those are actually 2 separate events. So as a lot of the times, we actually just hosted Division I, NCAA Division I men's and swimming diving championships here. This is only swimming. The diving championships for USA Diving are happening in Knoxville. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but this is just the swimming trials. But that is a good question, because normally those 2 are usually combined because they happen in pools, which makes a lot of sense.
I didn't see a diving board.
I cannot even.
The Eiffel Tower did that. There's a pool around it.
I'm not sure that's regulation, but I really like the idea.
I had a question about the ticket sales. How are the ticket sales going? And also talk a little bit about the price points.
Yeah.
There's still one for you.
Well,
ticket sales are going really well. As we've seen over the years, people are buying later and later, but as we get into the warmer weather, ticket sales have been growing a lot. The 2 busiest nights are opening night. Opening night, we are looking to set the world record for the largest attended swim meet. That record is currently held by the Rio Olympics with about 16,000 fans in attendance. We think we can, no pun intended, blow that out of the water. So it was pun intended. I'm a dad, I can say that. So that's one night, and then Wednesday. The Wednesday it has a ton of really great finals, so we've seen a lot of really great ticket sales around that. We're kind of slowly rolling out theme nights for every single one. Father's Day comes over here, so family night. I'm hoping to bring my family out for that. We're gonna have different theme nights for every single one. I do want to give a shout out to the last night on June 23rd. There is no prelims that night because there's nothing to qualify for after that. So we're just doing finals that night. But for the first time ever, the 52 athletes that make Team USA will be announced and recognized on that night. Usually when the swimmers make it and they're done with all their races, they'll go back home because they're about to train for the Olympics after that. This will be the first time that all 52 athletes will be in the same place at the same time. And so they're going to do some awesome activations that night and do some additional things on the 24th as well, but really cool night as well to come out.
also, I'm sorry, I just had a quick fun fact comment with that, because you mentioned about the turf. The turf at the stadium, and I work at the convention center in Salt State. So
You know more than I do.
Well, no. The turf has actually been torn up.
Yes.
The Colts are actually going to get a brand new turf that's going to be installed after the swim trials.
Yes, that is one of the fun facts that we don't always talk about, but part of the reason why we were able to do this and do that, because the Colts need a new turf, and we were like, we could put a pool on that. So yeah, but no, appreciate that.
So how long is it going to take to build these pools, and how deep are they?
I don't know the depth of them. Construction is actually going to start May 12th, so here pretty shortly in terms of loading and everything like that. And then we'll complete that around the beginning of June. USA Swimming has to do a lot of testing and make sure the temperature and it's stuff that's way over my head. I'm a words guy. I don't do any of that technical stuff, but there's a lot of testing around of it, and then they'll do some test event and do a walkthrough, so all the things go really well. But that construction will start May 12th and be going obviously for a couple of weeks.
What becomes of the pool? Is this a single-time use?
That's a great question. So the competition pool is actually going up to Fort Wayne to be used by one of their aquatic centers up there in Fort Wayne, and then the other competition pool, which is the two practice pools, will be going to the Cayman Islands, so they can use that for their uses to help out with everything like that. So very cool opportunities there, but it's going to take a while for them to get them because they got to be torn down and everything like that. But yeah, so not just one use. These are going to be repurposed to help out communities around the world, which is really exciting.
So is the natatorium being used for practice for the trial qualifiers during this event? And the second question is, if you put in a natatorium, people that qualify for the Olympic team, they get their name on the wall.
Yeah.
So are they going to get their name on the wall in Lucas Oil?
I have no idea, but I love that idea. I'm going to pitch that to everyone over there because I think that would be really
Way to
cool.
go, Steve.
The net's going to be used in a couple of different ways during the trials. We're going to have, I do think it's going to be used for some practice. We're also hosting the U.S. Masters Championship, USA Swimming Masters Championship. Masters is an age group, so it is older age group, but we're actually hosting that championship June 20th through the 24th. So that will be used for an additional championship that will be happening simultaneously during the trials as well. So those master swimmers will be able to attend and also compete at the same time, which is really cool.
Do you have a list of who from Indiana has made the Olympic team?
It's on USA Swimming's website.
Yes.
It's been updating as folks
Because I
qualify.
think Frank McKinney was on that team historically.
Yeah.
I think that would be in the 1940s to 50s.
Okay. Yeah, I think USA Swimming has a lot of those resources and things like that. I know USA Swimming, every trials actually honors the teams from like 8 years ago, 20 years ago, and like 40 years ago. So we'll be going way back. So I need to find out who of those alumni will be coming back and what Indiana connections we'll have coming back.
Frank McKinney was from the Indianapolis Athletic Club and swam with my mom, so that's why I remember that. But his legacy is both McKinney and Evans Law Firm and the banks in town. I think it's now Chase. So if you're thinking about marketing and maybe getting some donations, you might look that McKinney name up and trace it.
Yeah.
I know his granddaughter is my age and she's an attorney in both, so
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. Yes. Probably have time for one or two more.
Okay, one more important question. What is the day set for us old geezers to bring a blow-up float?
I know where this is going.
Uh-oh.
And try out the new pool.
There's your water tester right there.
Yes.
Only Roger.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many, outside the athletes, I don't know how many people are actually going to be able to jump into the pool. I'm trying to sneak in myself on one of the days, either way. We do have some different opportunities for folks. If you're USA Swimming Foundation, through USA Swimming has some opportunities to do some things to actually jump in the pool and things like that. But yeah, no, I'm trying to find a way to find it. I just want to dip a toe in. That's all I want. I don't want a lot. Just to dip a toe in.
So you said we had it, and then Omaha had it for a while. They outgrew it. Not gonna outgrow Lucas Oil. What are the chances of keeping it?
That is honestly one of our goals, is to bring this back every 4 years. We do feel like with Indiana's rich history and everything that we do and the way the community comes together, that there's no better place for it. The 2028 Olympics are in LA. So not sure if LA is going to do anything with this or anything or not, but we would love to have it here in Indianapolis every single year. And I think that's why this year is so important, this 2024 one, just because we really want to show both nationally and internationally, because as I said before, this is the fastest swim meet in the world. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on this one internationally as well. And we really want to put Indianapolis's best foot forward for this one, and we hope it comes back in 28.
Roof closed?
Yes, roof will be closed. I get that question every once in a while. I can't imagine trying to, yeah, that's a new one.
We sponsor a lot of key clubs. Maybe those kids, some of those kids in our key clubs right around the Mary County or around the area could help as volunteers.
As volunteers.
I mean, Roger and Trina and I have a lot, and others have contacts with these kids, and they would be overwhelmed by being a volunteer.
Right.
I hope you'll come to us and ask Kelly and whoever, and we can get you a bunch of volunteers.
Yeah, that'd be
high school scholars that are great kids.
No, that would be amazing. 'Cause we definitely need the help, and those would be those are our best ambassadors. So, all right, I think that is all the time I have. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, even if you don't swim, you got to be excited after that presentation. He's a cheerleader unto himself. Thank you, Dan. We are going to give a donation in your honor to Trinity Haven. Their mission is to provide safe, affirming housing for LGBTQ+ youth experiencing housing instability. Okay, we're almost at the end. Time for a dad joke. They're really bad, but this was a little different. My puns are so bad that they have put me in the Witless Protection Program. And we are adjourned.